Okay, let's take a look at how we would use a place value chart to figure out what 2450 times 10 would be. So if you're raking leaves and you're getting paid $24.50 a day and you do it for 10 days, let's figure out how much money you would make. So I'm just going to look at the tens here first. And 2 tens times 10 would mean I would have 20 tens. And 20 tens is the same as saying 2 hundreds. So let's look at our ones. We have 4 ones times by 10 would mean we have 40 ones. So I'm going to put them 40 ones is the same as 4 tens. Let's look at the tenths. We had 50 or 5 tenths, times that by 10, and I would end up with 50 tenths, which is the same as 5 ones. You may have noticed that because we're timesing it by 10, I've just basically moved everything over on the place value chart by 1 column on the place value chart. Let's try another one. Let's look at if you were raking leaves for 100 days. Let's say you get 100 clients. It's taking you 1 day a client, and you're getting paid $24.50 every time you rake leaves. You do it 100 times. So let's just put it back. So $24.50 looks like this in our place value chart. And now this time we're timesing these 2 tens by 100. So we would have 200 tens. Which is the same thing as saying we have 2,000s. If we had 4 times 100, we would have 400 ones, which is the same as saying 400s. And 5 tenths times by 100 is the same as having 500 tenths, which is the same as having 5 tens. And do we have any ones? No, so it would be, there's nothing here. So let's rewrite our new number. We would have $2,450 after raking leaves for 100 days. What happened to our dots here in our columns when we times it by 100? Last time, when we were timesing it by 10, we can see that everything moved over by 1 column. So now that we're timesing it by 100, we can see that it's actually moving over by 2 columns. And you might see a correlation there with the 2 zeros. So I want you to kind of use these place value charts when you're multiplying and dividing. What do you think would happen if we were dividing? If we're timesing and we're moving things to the left, which way would we be moving if we were dividing? Something to think about.